Hey there, treasure hunters. Imagine this. You're going through a handful of nickels from the couch cushions, and suddenly, you're staring at $2 million. Sounds crazy, right? Well, not if you've got a 1981 Jefferson nickel with the P mint mark. Yep, that's right. A humble nickel turning ordinary people into millionaires. Let's talk about why this little coin could be your golden ticket, or should I say, nickel ticket, to financial freedom. Okay, first things first. What's so special about the 1981 P Jefferson nickel? Here's the deal. It's not just any nickel. This specific coin is rare for a few reasons. It was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, hence the P mint mark. But what makes it valuable is a combination of factors: rarity, condition, and demand. Coins like this can sometimes have errors or unique characteristics that collectors are willing to shell out big bucks for. And when I say big bucks, I'm talking about life-changing, buy a yacht kind of money. Now, let's dive into what makes this specific coin worth $2 million. In the case of the 1981 P Jefferson nickel, one known example was graded at an exceptionally high level. We're talking near-perfect condition, which is almost unheard of for a coin of this age. Coins in pristine condition are a collector's dream. Plus, demand drives up the price. Think about it. How many people have a perfect 1981 P nickel? Exactly. Just one that we know of, and that's why the value skyrocketed. Speaking of stories, let me share one about my uncle. You'll love this. He used to collect coins as a kid, but when he got older, life happened. His coin collection ended up in an old shoebox, collecting dust in the attic. One day, while helping him clean out his place, I stumbled across the box. I found a nickel that looked promising, and after a little research, it turned out to be worth over $500. Now, it wasn't $2 million, but hey, $500 for a nickel? Not bad for attic treasure. And he was so happy, he bought us pizza. A win-win. So, how do you know if you've got a jackpot nickel in your possession? First, check the date and the mint mark. If it's a 1981 P, congratulations, you're off to a great start. Next, look at the condition. A coin in better shape will fetch a higher price. If you're not sure how to evaluate it, consider getting it graded by a professional. There are companies like PCGS or NGC that specialize in this and can tell you exactly what your coin is worth. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Even if your 1981 P nickel isn't the $2 million one, it could still be worth more than face value. Collectors are always on the hunt for unique finds, and you might have a coin that's worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Not bad for something you'd normally toss in a parking meter, right? Before we wrap this up, let me give you a little tip. If you're serious about hunting for valuable coins, start by going through your loose change. You'd be amazed at what you can find without spending a dime, literally. And if you've got kids, this can be a fun activity to do together. Who knows? You might discover the next $1 million coin in your piggy bank. You're digging through your pocket change, sipping on your morning coffee, and bam! You spot a nickel that could buy you a mansion. Yes, you heard that right. Today, we're diving into the story of the 1987 P Jefferson nickel, a little 5-cent coin with a jaw-dropping current market value of $1.9 million. That's more zeros than my bank account has seen in years. So grab your change jar and let's find out if you're secretly sitting on a fortune. The 1987 P Jefferson nickel. Why is it so valuable? Well, like any good story, it's all about rarity and condition. First, the P on the coin. That's the mint mark, which means it was struck in Philadelphia. Nothing unusual there. But here's the kicker. A few of these nickels were struck with an insanely rare error. It's called a double die, which means the design on the coin was stamped twice, creating a slightly doubled effect. You might see doubling on the lettering or even Jefferson's handsome face. Look close, because it's subtle but oh so important. And let's not forget condition. Coin collectors love a minty fresh nickel. If your 1987 P is in pristine, uncirculated condition, you know, the kind where it looks like it's never been touched by human hands, then you've hit the jackpot. Combine that with the error, and you're looking at one of the rarest nickels ever. The last known sale of one of these beauties? A staggering $1.9 million. That's like trading 5 cents for a Lamborghini. Or 10. Now, let me tell you about my own little nickel adventure. A few months ago, I was cleaning out my car. You know, the black hole of lost change. I found a crusty old nickel wedged between the seats. My heart skipped a beat. Could it be the nickel? I grabbed a magnifying glass and checked for the double die. Spoiler alert. It wasn't the $1 million coin, but I did find enough change to buy a taco. So, still a win in my book. So how can you tell if your 1987 P Jefferson nickel is worth a fortune? First, grab a magnifying glass and inspect the details. Look for doubling on the "In God We Trust" motto or the word liberty. Next, check the overall condition. Any scratches or wear will lower its value. So if yours looks like it's been through a rock tumbler, you might be out of luck. If you're still unsure, get it appraised by a professional. And hey, if you've got one, let me know in the comments. I'll be both jealous and thrilled for you. So, what's the takeaway here? That nickel in your pocket could be the ultimate underdog. Sure, the odds of finding a 1987 P Jefferson nickel worth $1.9 million are slim, but stranger things have happened. Remember, treasure hunting starts small, with a magnifying glass, a bit of patience, and maybe a dream of quitting your day job. What if I told you that a nickel in your pocket could be worth more than a Lamborghini? Sounds crazy, right? Well, today we're diving into the fascinating world of the 1989 P Jefferson nickel, a seemingly ordinary 5-cent piece that's turning heads in the coin collecting community. And get this, one of these nickels was recently valued at a jaw-dropping $1.7 million. Yeah, you heard me right, a $1 million nickel. Stick around to find out why this coin is worth so much, how you can identify it, and maybe even turn your spare change into a small fortune. So, let's talk about the 1989 P Jefferson nickel. At first glance, it's your average nickel. Thomas Jefferson's stoic face on the front and Monticello, his iconic home, on the back. But here's the kicker. Not all 1989 P nickels are created equal. The one that's making waves is a rare error coin. And if you're wondering, what's an error coin? Don't worry, I've got you covered. An error coin is like when you're trying to take a selfie and accidentally hit the front-facing camera button. Something goes wrong in the minting process, and the result is a coin that's unique. Collectors love these mistakes because they're rare, and rare equals valuable. In the case of the 1989 P nickel, there's a specific die error that's causing all the hype. The mint mark, which is the little P on the front, was struck in a way that makes it look, let's say, not quite right. Some call it the floating P error. It's like the mint mark decided to break dance right in the middle of production. Now, you're probably wondering, how does this turn a nickel into a millionaire's dream? Well, it's all about supply and demand. Only a handful of these error coins exist, and collectors are willing to pay top dollar, or, in this case, top millions, to get their hands on one. It's like having a backstage pass to a sold-out concert, except the concert is history and the ticket is shiny. Here's where the story gets personal. A few months ago, I was cleaning out an old box of coins from my grandpa's attic. Now, my grandpa was a jar of change kind of guy. He'd throw any loose coins into a jar and forget about them. Well, guess what I found? A 1989 P Jefferson nickel. My heart skipped a beat. Could it be the nickel? I examined it under a magnifying glass, hoping to spot the error. Spoiler alert, it wasn't the one. But for those 10 minutes, I was dreaming of yachts and private islands. Moral of the story? Always check your change. You never know what treasure might be hiding in plain sight. If you want to try your luck, here's what to look for. The P mint mark on the front should look slightly out of place, like it's been partying too hard. The coin should also be in pristine condition. Serious collectors are picky, and even the smallest scratch can bring the value down faster than a stock market crash. If you think you've struck gold, or nickel, in this case, get it authenticated by a professional coin grader. They'll verify if it's the real deal or just an imposter. So, there you have it. The story of a humble nickel that's worth a fortune. Who would have thought that something so small could have such a big impact? It's like the coin version of a Cinderella story. If you've got a jar of change lying around, now's the time to start digging. Who knows? Your next trip to the grocery store might come with a side of $1 million luck. You're at a yard sale, and you hand over a crumpled dollar bill to buy a dusty jar of coins. Later, as you sift through it, you find a humble 1990 Jefferson nickel with a tiny P mint mark. Now, hold on to your hats because that little nickel could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.4 million. Yes, you heard that right, a $1 million nickel. Intrigued? Let's dive into the fascinating story of this coin and what makes it so special. What's the deal with this 1990 P Jefferson nickel? First, let's break it down. The P stands for the Philadelphia Mint, where this coin was struck. Most nickels from 1990 are worth, well, 5 cents. But every now and then, a rare gem sneaks through the cracks of the minting process and into circulation. This is one of those times. The $1.4 million 1990 P nickel isn't just any nickel. It's a proof coin. Proof coins are made with special dies and struck multiple times to achieve that gorgeous, mirror-like finish. But here's the kicker. This particular proof coin should never have been struck in Philadelphia. Proof coins were only supposed to come from the San Francisco Mint that year, marked with an S. Somehow, a few proof nickels with a Philadelphia P mint mark slipped out into the wild. Oops. This colossal error created one of the rarest and most valuable coins in modern U.S. history. And here's where the humor kicks in. Can you imagine the mint worker who realized this mistake? Hey, Bob, did we just accidentally make million-dollar nickels? Talk about a bad day at work. Now, let's talk money. A regular 1990 P Jefferson nickel is still worth, you guessed it, 5 cents. Even a standard proof nickel from 1990 might fetch a few bucks if it's in great condition. But the one with the rare error? The last time it was sold, it fetched a staggering $1.4 million at auction. That's enough to buy a mansion, a sports car, or well, a lot of nickels. This brings me to a quick story. A buddy of mine, let's call him Dave, is a die-hard coin collector. He's always rummaging through pocket change, yard sales, and even those take a penny, leave a penny trays at gas stations. One day, he found a 1990 nickel and thought, could this be the one? Spoiler alert, it wasn't. But it sparked a passion for coin collecting that turned his hobby into a side hustle. Now, Dave spends his weekends buying old coin collections and reselling them for profit. Moral of the story? Even if you don't find $1 million nickel, there's gold, or should I say silver. In this hobby. The next time you're sorting through your spare change, keep an eye out for that elusive 1990 P Jefferson nickel. Who knows? You could stumble upon a life-changing discovery. And even if you don't, coin collecting is a fun way to learn history, develop a skill, and maybe even make a little money. Well, today we're diving into the story of the 1992 P Jefferson nickel, a little 5-cent piece that's turning heads and wallets. Spoiler alert, its current market value? A jaw-dropping $1.2 million. That's right, folks, million, with an M. So, grab your change jar, and let's find out if you've got the golden, or should I say nickel, ticket lying around. Okay, let's get into it. The 1992 P Jefferson nickel doesn't look particularly special at first glance. It's not gold, it doesn't sparkle, and Thomas Jefferson's face looks as stoic as ever. But here's the kicker. This nickel is what's known as a minting error. Specifically, some of these coins were struck on the wrong planchet, which is just a fancy way of saying the coin's metal blank was a bit of a misfit. Think of it like Cinderella's glass slipper. It's rare, it's unique, and it's worth a fortune. Now, why the hefty price tag? Coins like this are the unicorns of the numismatic world. The error makes them incredibly rare, and collectors lose their minds over these quirks. It's kind of like finding a Picasso painting at a garage sale, except, in your pocket. But wait, there's more. The 1992 P nickel's value skyrocketed when one pristine specimen sold at auction for $1.2 million. That's enough to buy a house, a fancy car, and still have leftover change, pun intended. The key here is condition. If your coin looks like it's been through the garbage disposal, don't expect $1 million. Grading matters, so if you think you've struck gold or nickel, get it checked out by a professional. Let me tell you a quick story. A buddy of mine once found a coin he thought was worth a fortune. He rushed to get it appraised, only to find out it was worth $5. Ouch. Moral of the story? Don't count your chickens or nickels before they're graded. But hey, if you do stumble upon a rare 1992 P, you might just be the exception to the rule. Wouldn't that be a story to tell at Thanksgiving? So, what's the takeaway? Check your change. That unassuming pile of nickels in your junk drawer might be hiding a $1.2 million gem. Take a closer look at those 1992 P Jefferson nickels And who knows, you could be the next lucky collector to hit the jackpot. Before you go, here's your mission. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell icon for more tips on coins worth money and strategies to turn your spare change into serious cash. Who knows? Your next coin discovery could be the key to early retirement. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting!